시작. 프레이야의 방. 끝내지 못한 그림. 근데 나 이 게임 진짜 분위기가 너무 좋아. 그냥 막 엄청 재밌냐? 라고 물어보면 그냥 무난하게 재밌는데 진짜 분위기가 너무 좋아 이거. 나 뭐 하려고 그랬지? 아 맞다. 안녕하세요. 이분 혼자 부금이 너무 전원생활이야. 그 시골, 진짜 유럽의 시골에 양치면서 약간 그런 느낌? 자, 펠릭스 씨, 프레이야에 대해 말씀해 주시죠.
Uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving.
목공예를 프레이야한테 배웠구나.
Patience. She was ever so good with dear
어제.
Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh yes,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
especially recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a
조건 많이
look at it.
봤는데.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years old. She came to live here shortly afterwards.
그래서 여기 이
Nobody
동네
left her a
프레이야
thing?
I'm
부모님이
afraid
없구나.
not. She had no formal claim over anything. at
프레이야는
Tangle
탱글 타워의 어떠한 것에도 법적 소유권이 없다. 부모님부터 살해당한 거 아니야? 아니.
What is that?
I
What
think it's a
is
family
that?
trait.
What is that? 자, 프레이야. 그래, 왜 이런 사람이 안 보이나 했네. 다 돌아가셨구만. 데미안 더스크. 데미안 더스크 죽었고, 뭐냐 이것은. 펠리시아 펠로우 죽었고, 그래서 부모님이 없구만. 어째 이게 족보가 이게 보면 엄청 많은데 사람이 이만큼 없더라. 이 사람들 한테 막 찾아다니면서 이것저것 물어보면서 수사하고 뭔가 범인을 찾는 사건의 진상을 알아보는 그런 게임인데 문제는 사람이 생각보다 많아요. 저는 제 현생 인간관계도 그렇게 많지 않기 때문에 지금 굉장히 제 인간관계보다 많지 않나. 지금 난 좀 어지럽다. 그게 문제예요. 나 얘한테 뭘 물어보러 왔는데. 맞다.
What's this? It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something
맞아.
about it.
교수님이랑 알 줄
Well,
알았는데.
it certainly is a telescope.
네.
It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see.
네.
It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
일단은 프레이야가 살해된 피해자인 만큼 모두에게 프레이야에 대해서 좀 물어보고 다녀야겠어.
Nobody could deny her talent. She was remarkable, artistically gifted, but also highly intelligent.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive, you know.
Was she ever interested in astronomy?
I don't think she was. The fault may well lie with me for failing to inspire her. But I think she was captivated by more tangible things here on Earth. My daughter loved her.
Fiona.
Too. That said, in the last year or so, more and more I've been wandering the gardens at the most peculiar hours. She must have explored every inch of the grounds 100 times over. Quite a restless spirit, I think. I'm surprised she chose to live at Tangle Tower as long as she did.
그리고 할 말 없음.
Every astronomy tower.
I want to try.
한번 볼 수 있다고? 아니, 교수님, 매일 밤 별을 보신다는 천문학자분께서 왜 건너방 플로라를 보고 계시죠?
You can see right into Flora's room.
아니, 이거 뭐지?
Not by accident.
우연이 아니야, 이건.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way.
플로라가
She's
위를 보고
looking
있어.
up. Behind her is the back side of the easel holding Freya's
Oh.
unfinished painting. I can't really see anything
이
behind it.
각도에선 안 보인다.
It's the tower opposite this one.
다른 건 뭐겠지?
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
아, 교수님의 별. 플로라. 아, 플로라가 교수님의
Didn't you think it would
별이었구만.
fall off?
Maybe it's glued down.
저 위,
Is that a window?
그니까 저거 뭐임?
I think it is.
잠깐만! 이 위에는 지도상에 방이 없는데? 왜 공간이 하나 더 있지?
Is there another room above Flora's room?
What the?
We should check that next time we're over there.
지금 가보자.
It's the tower. Isn't this supposed to be? I'm pretty sure.
Can't move
그니까.
it.
움직일 수가 없대. 이거는 애초에 별을 보고자 하는 망원경이 아니었던 거임.
I think this is just how it's
이렇게
set up.
고정됐대, 이 각도로. 똥집! 똥집, 똥집! 슉슉슉. 슉슉슉. 가자. 죄송해요. 이게 뭐냐고! 갈 수 있는 건가? 아, 이렇게 해서 저 천체 망원경으로 이 방의 존재를 확인해야만 죽창! 꽂으면 죽겠지? 이거 확인을 해야만 여기를 갈 수 있나 봐. 헐, 미친. 헐, 비밀의 방이다. 타락방! 와, 이건 뭐야, 여기 어디야? 저 상자 뭐야?
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
아, 열자. 아, 무슨 탐정이 저렇게 겁이 많아. 아, 그냥 안 열랭. 아니, 무서워. 안 열랭.
What is that?
What is
Not
that?
sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
응, 어딘가에 붙어있어야 할 것처럼 생겼대. 그러게. 이게 뭘까? 감개 주위에 얇은 빨간 밧줄이 감겨져 있다. 오케이. 다른 거는
It's a jar.
뭔가
The head screws off.
Huh.
뭔가 여기도 상자가 있습니다.
Just dusty junk.
안 열리네. 여기는 다른 걸 할 게 없나?
Nothing catching mine.
Sorry, is this?
Kind of. Nothing catching.
Sorry.
Kind of.
저걸 주스러 온 건가?
Just dusty junk.
네, 이거 꽤 진짜 수사하는 느낌이 나는 게임이라 점수가
Nothing
높더라고요.
catching mine.
Sorry.
Kind of.
그러니까 딱 무난하게 재밌는 게임이요. 근데 일단은 여기서 볼 거 다 봤나 보다. 다락방에 대해서 저 감개에 대해서 누구한테 말하지? 감개에 대해서 누구한테 얘기해볼까? 바닥에서 빛이 새어나온대요.
Where's that light coming from?
밑에서 들어오는 거 아니야? 그러니까 약간 나는 그렇게 생각했어. 밑에도 방이 있잖아. 거기 햇빛도 들어오는 방이잖아. 근데 이제 낡아서 마루가 그냥 갈라진 거 아니야?
No, it's just daylight.
그냥 햇빛이 들어오는 거 아니야?
There's a decent gap.
어, 아니야?
between the floorboard. Is that what I think it is?
헐, 대박. 범인은 여기서 프레이야를 죽였어. 여기가 시체 바로 위잖아. 스트레치. 여기서 그래서 프레이야가 그림 그리다가 저 자리에서 죽은 거야. 여기서 뭘 칼을 던졌거나 뭔가 했겠지.
Is that what I?
미쳤네.
Is
여기가
that
범행
what I-
장소잖아. 똥침을 세게 맞았구만. 야, 큰일 났다. 누구냐? 그러면 그때 당시에 그 위에 있었던 걸 누구한테 얘기하지? 일단은 교수님. 일단 교수님 자체가 너무 수상해요. 교수님한테 이것저것 물어보자. 너 굉장히 수상함. 자, 이게 뭔지 아시는 분?
What's this?
내가
Is it a
물어보고
clue?
응?
We don't actually know.
단서인데요?
But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
아, 얘 뭐라나 보네? 아, 뭘까? 플로라!
A listless soul drifting through
창공을
the
떠다니는
ether.
무기력한
What's wrong
영혼을
with her?
왜 맨날
Sure.
보고 있을까,
She's always
교수님이?
been troubled. Comes from a dysfunctional family. I'd say you could ask her about it, but I think you might find that to be a bit of a dead end.
피츠, 포피, 페니, 포인터. 그거 한번 봐야겠다. 기다려. 동선을 한번 봐야겠어. 펠릭스가 말하기를 어떤 사람이 침착한 발걸음으로 먼저 내려왔고 그 후에 어떤 다른 사람이 엄청 다급한 발걸음으로 뭔가 잘못됐다는 그런 느낌으로 내려갔다 그랬거든? 두 번째가 포피야. 그럼 첫 번째가 범인인데? 그럼 범인은 여기서 범행을 저지르고 차분하게 내려간 거지. 그럼 과연 피피와 얘기해야 돼? 안녕 피피. 내가 제일 좋아하는 애다. 얘 너무 귀여워. 자, 피피는 프레이야를 무지 좋아했다고 했는데 말씀해보세요.
Name, Freya Fellow.
프레이야 필로.
Age, 19. Profession, artist.
아, 귀여워.
Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it
아,
is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
쟤도
I will say
나름의
In the past year, Freya became
수사를
one,
하고 있네요.
increasingly independent, and two, increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
아,
The three of you are friends.
We are of a similar age and all highly gifted. One
귀여워.
scientist, one artist, and one musician.
Sounds like quite a team.
오케이. 피피는 이게 뭔지 알까?
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it.
오케이.
Besides, I would have no use for such a thing.
얘한테
Perhaps
쓸모없는
it could be
물건이래.
used to hang
젖은
wet
빨래를
laundry.
넣을 때
Was that a joke?
쓰고 왔다고? 바보.
Yes.
자, 그러면은 과연 맞다. 교수님한테 이거 물어본다고 하고 까먹었다. 조각상도 물어봐야지.
A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint.
날카로운걸? 아니, 피피 날카로운걸? 맞네, 이 조각상에
A
빨간
wooden
부분이
carving of my
있는데
father, made by. Although, now
어째
that I
빨간
look
물감
at it,
없이 여길
I do not
칠했지?
understand how he was able to paint the red parts
아니,
without
개소름
any red
돋는데?
paint.
아니, 피피 진짜 완전 날카롭다.
It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
응?
A model of Flora, you mean?
둘 다 있잖아.
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
네,
Why would my father make a
그러니까
model
왜
of
아빠가
Freya?
프레이야의 모습을 만들었을까? 왜일까? 나도 궁금하다. 자, 그러면은 얘만 물어보고
The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the harp. Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
아니요, 아직 해석 못했습니다.
Working on it.
working on it.
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too. With blood, not
이거
paint.
피래.
A whole pot.
물감이
full of
아니래.
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
blood? Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak you out?
헐, 몰랐어.
No. In fact, it may be considered rather reassuring.
자, 그러면은
There's something about Felix's painting supplies.
혐의 열렸다.
Something.
아까
Let's
그
ask him
빨간
about it.
지금 가자. 혐의다. 그 그 빨간색 물감 없이 어떻게 빨간 부분을 칠했는지 의심이 간다. 그걸로 혐의 열렸나봐. 자, 가보겠습니다. 혐의.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
Nothing suspicious about it. I used it to paint, obviously. Totally
그렇겠죠?
normal thing to
완전
do.
수상한데.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
이건 당신의 물감통이 아닙니다.
It's not your paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's
증거가 있다고?
definitely mine. I even have proof.
진짜?
Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots.
아니.
End of discussion.
뚜껑만 네 거도
That's not the end
덮었겠지.
of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint.
짜란.
Something to prove who it actually
한
belongs to.
봅시다. 짜란. 자, 뚜껑은 얘 거의 뚜껑이 맞지만, 하지만 프레이야의 물감을 증거로 제시하면 될 것 같아요.
Let's take a closer look at this.
슉. 자, 문은 도난당했다. 몰래 뒤바뀌어 있던 것은 프레야의 빨간 물감통은 도난당했다? 몰래 뒤바뀌어 있던 것은 펠릭스의 빨간 물감통. 하지만 이를 숨기기 위해 뚜껑이 뒤바뀌어 있었다. 맞는 것 같은데? 가보자.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
그렇지.
That red paint is from
그렇지.
Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
그렇지.
Why are you bothering me about
야.
paint anyway? And
중요한
none
게
of this is
있지.
connected to
그
your
통에 있는 건
murder.
피거든. 자, 우물을 가득 채운 것, 이 빨간 물감통을 가득 채운 것은 피. 플로라가 그리기 위해? 응? 뭐지? 프레이야 이며 몇 주 전에 아니야 잠기졌다? 프레이야가 플로라를 그리는데 쓰기 전이다. 이거 아닐까? 잠깐. 플로라를 그리기 위해 프레이야가 쓴 후이다. 전후? 으악! 잠깐만. 그냥 해보면 되지.
This red paint
아, 틀렸다.
pot was somehow filled with blood
쓰기 전인가 봐.
after Freya used it to paint Flora. Almost. Maybe just
쓰기
to-
전이다.
This red paint
됐다!
pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used
아,
it to paint
헷갈렸어.
Flora.
Oh, that's definitely something.
예.
Right.
혐의를 인정하시나요?
Here's the story.
오케이.
I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red paint. There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know. Perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it,
그래서
but she didn't seem to care.
설마 물감을 빌려주지 않아서 사람을 죽였나?
Well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room.
Not my proudest moment, but it's just
딱
paint.
빨간
I
물감만
didn't touch anything
훔쳐왔대.
else.
자기 말로는.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it
Okay.
got blood in it.
피에
If that's
대해선
what you're
자기는
asking.
모른디야.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of red paint anyway?
맞아요.
I
말해.
was trying to finish this in time for Flora's birthday. I needed red to paint the final
그 새가
details.
얼룩새여갖고
Could you not
빨간색이
just use a different
필요했구나.
Out of the question. It had to be red and white.
If
오케이.
you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
맞아요.
Well, I decided against it in the end.
걸.
After what happened,
걸.
seemed a bit insensitive.
그 새요. 그 새네요. 오케이. 자, 혐의 하나를 찾았는데 피츠랑 얘기하래. 피츠야! 피츠한테도 역시 프레이야에 대해 한 번만 물어봐야겠다. 아니 이 게임은 진짜 아트워크가 왜 이렇게 개쩔냐. 너무 멋있어.
She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was
아 맞다.
working.
피츠한테
Sometimes
뽀피에
by
대해
herself,
물어봐야겠다.
sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
인색.
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it
아
away.
그렇게 해서 프레이야가 그걸 키웠나
I
보다.
didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
오케이. 자, 피츠씨. 포피랑 사귀시는 것 같던데. 피앙새가 따로 있으면서.
Poppy and I are friends.
거짓말.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants.
그냥
Unusual
친구
flowers
맞나?
mostly. I've been teaching her.
어,
Right.
오케이.
Is something wrong?
아니요 뭐 그냥 의심이 갈 뿐이지. 팬니에 대해 물어볼게요.
Penelope is my fiancée.
그렇지.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's
거짓말.
good.
거짓말. 아! 맞아! 이 탐정에 대해 물어봐야 돼. 피츠가 고용한 게 아닐까?
She questioned me.
About what?
My work, the plants,
어?
bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No,
아닌가?
she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
맞아요.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me. I can tell.
그래요? 그러면 이분한테 물어봐야 하는 게 일단 이걸 물어봅시다.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's
어,
room.
피피
That's not where we found
피피
it.
거라고 생각하네.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her.
황금 딱정벌레.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a
그렇구나.
difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just
맞아,
inside
진짜.
the earth or whatever. You can't make it. It's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
감게.
I don't know what that is.
하긴 나도
Me neither.
모르겠다.
Me 3. Oh, sorry.
아, 나 저 개그 마음에 드는데. 난 저 개그 마음에 들어. 자기 이 친구한테 또 뭘 물어볼지는 잘 모르겠는걸? 이것도 아, 자. 잠시만. 오케이.
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld.
혐의 열렸어!
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
가자, 가자! 오, 혐의 열렸어요. 좋습니다. 자, 안녕하십니까. 여기서 제일 띠꺼운 사람씨. 자, 본인의 혐의에 대해 말씀해보도록 합시다.
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this
맞아.
would make perfect sense if you knew what my client had asked me to find.
그래서
Of
뭔데?
course, I still have no
아,
intention
말
of
알려줘.
disclosing that
누가
information.
고용했고 왜
You're
고용했는데.
such a tease, Hawkshaw.
나도
Don't worry.
알려줘.
We already worked out what you're searching for.
뭐냐? 나도 모르겠는데. 뭐지? 난 감이 안 잡히는데. 셀리는 알고 있대요. 초상화.
That's not right.
그럼 없는데? 축음기.
That's not right.
구미관 테이프 아니겠고.
That's not right. That's not right.
얘 왜 온 거야?
That's not right.
딱정벌레인가? 해볼게.
That's not right.
Not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse?
보기보다
This
멍청하지
beetle?
않대.
Surely even you can understand the logic of
대충
it. The
23트에
greenhouse is
했는데.
home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but
맞아.
didn't actually search
온실
the
수색 안
greenhouse.
했다고 하던데.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you
아,
reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
이건 현미경이 아니야.
It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
짜란. 자. 피피가 훔친 것이다. 뭐라는 거야? 자. 훔친 것이다. 휴대용 현미경. 자. 휴대용 피피의 망원, 피피에 따르면 휴대용 현미경, 맞아, 이 망원 렌즈 쓰고 있다 그랬어. 그래서 망원경이라 그랬는데. 근데 이제 순서를 모르겠어. 얘네 둘은 맞거든요? 얘는 맞아. 그러니까 이거 현미경이 아니고 망원경이거든? 근데 얘는 이게 혹시나 지가 쓰고 있는 건데 지가 이걸 현미경이라 그러잖아. 그러니까 얘 거가 아니지. 내용은 이해했는데 또 어순이 헷갈리네. 휴대용 현미경은 아니지. 현미경의 일부는 망원 렌즈로. 아,
The handheld
됐다.
microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it.
그렇지.
I'm inclined to believe Fifi
그렇지.
when it comes to stuff like
피피는
this.
과학자기 때문이지.
Aksha, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
맞아요. 왜 거짓말
When you
하셨죠?
were a child, what did you aspire to become?
갑자기?
A detective, naturally.
Emperor of the galaxy?
은하계 황제가 되고 싶었대.
Really?
I harbored a desire to
Empire
understand
of
the secrets of
Galaxy.
the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided
Empire
instead to
아니다.
apply my
Emperor다.
intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective.
천문학자가
But the
되고
yearning for
싶었는데.
elusive knowledge is a
그래서
powerful
탐정이
force.
됐대.
I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but
맞아요.
we're way off
무슨
track.
상관이죠?
What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with
왜
you?
가져왔죠?
When I discovered that it was Professor
아,
Pointer who
포인터
had hired
교수가
me,
얘를
I dared to consider
고용했대.
it something of a planetary alignment. I
아,
had hoped he might sign my telescope. An
그렇구만.
extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become
빨리
complicated.
알려줘.
My lead suspect
누구냐?
is your murder victim.
헐. 프레이야가 용의자였대. 그런데 프레이야가 죽은겨. 아. 아, 그렇구나. 아, 그래서 얘가 온 거구나. 와, 진짜 신기하네. 피피랑 다시 얘기하자고? 피피. 안녕, 피피. 피피한테 무슨 얘기를 해볼까요? 포피에 대해 얘기해볼까? 피츠. 플로라. 혹쇼. 포피.
Name: Poppy Pointer.
네.
Age:
Poppy
19.
Pointer.
Profession:
아,
apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under
아,
profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
아 오케이. 플로라.
Name, Flora Fellow. Age, 44.
헐헐.
Profession, unknown. Likes, unknown. Dislikes, unknown.
안녕.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
맞아.
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting nonverbal communication.
아,
And how long
맞아.
has Flora been
플로라는 언제부터 비언어적이 됐나요?
non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond.
그러면 아빠에 대해 물어보겠어.
Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none. Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison, but I would say no.
No?
Why?
not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I've provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions and something of a willful detachment
피피
from
머리
reality.
만져보고 싶어.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No. He is quite correct.
피피에게 피피에 대해 물어보겠습니다.
Name, Fiona Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, amateur microbiologist. Likes, the meaningful archiving of information. Dislikes, the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes, kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How
Fifi.
come you prefer Fifi?
How come you prefer Grimoire?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin.
Mhm.
His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not.
아,
He left Tangle
플린트가
Tower a long time
오래전에
ago.
탱글타워를
And what about
떠났대.
Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent.
오케이. 뭔가 더 황금닭 쪽을
Now,
물어보자.
this is interesting.
오케이.
Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
천문탑에서 찾았다.
Yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah. You could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh. You wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study
Naive.
science in any field is to study the connections between all
아,
matter in the
역시
universe,
과학자와.
living or inanimate.
피피랑 얘기를 하라고 하는 것은 아마 피피랑 얘기를 하면서 포인터 교수와 얘기해야 된다고? 피피랑 얘기를 하면서 무엇인가의 혐의가 풀릴 줄 알았는데 갑자기 포인터로 가라네? 교수님, 이 교수가 제일 수상한데 이 엉덩이 또잉또잉하는 이 교수가 제일 수상해.
Miss Tidy, the notebook is a
Even the most well-used notebooks
컴이
are.
누구 남았냐면 피츠랑 포인터, 페니 셋 남았다. 피츠, 페니, 포인터. 일단 교수님한테 얘기를 해볼게요. 포인터, 페니, 피츠 이렇게 남았네 진짜. 일단 교수님한테 포피가 딸이니까 아니지. 교수님이 고용한 혹쇼.
Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you.
왜? 내가 어때서? 지금 욕한 거임? 내가 어때서? 내가 얼마나 철두철미하고 짜증나. 본인에 대해 물어봐야지.
I don't especially want to talk about myself.
왜요? 왜 싫어하신대요?
Introspection often leads to vanity.
아,
Wait, does it?
Why don't we discuss the moons of Jupiter instead?
I'm not sure if we have time. Aren't there like 10 of them?
83.
Yeah, we don't have time.
He should learn to make the most of his lot in life. And he does have a lot in life.
You're talking about money?
Among other things, but yes, he currently
Ah.
has agency over a small fortune.
펠릭스가
That is, if he hasn't already
이곳에
squandered
대부분의
it or
재산을
lost it.
You two don't get on?
소유권이
Oh,
있었나 봐.
no, we're the best of friends.
자, 그러면 펠릭스, 페니, 피피, 피츠, 퍼피.
Ah, Penelope, our resident ornithologist.
페넬로피.
Penny's your niece, is that right?
At this moment in time, until she marries the gardener.
She'll still be your niece.
But she'll depart from the world of the Pointers and join the Fellows. Like rats deserting a sinking ship.
생각해보니까 페니랑 피츠는 그거네? 친척끼리 결혼한 거네?
What do you want me to say? He's the gardener.
He's a member of the
아닌가?
family.
족보를 한번 다시
Yeah, but
볼게요.
not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the Fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived.
피는 딸이고 피피는 저기 저. 그니까 얘한테 뭘 물어봐 보지? 색칠된 조각상, 프레이어의 그림. 아, 이거
Freya
물어보자.
was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like
맞아, 어떻게
to
보이세요?
you?
To me,
Yeah.
it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
새와 새장, 플로라의 그림. 딱정벌레 한번? 오케이, 오케이.
So, we found some
아,
research.
맞다. 내가 여기서
What's up with this golden
찾았지.
beetle?
맞다요.
Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid.
왜요?
I think it must be something left behind by a previous
여-
inhabitant
여기서
of Tangle
찾았는데?
Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your
맞아요.
astronomy tower.
여기서 나왔는데 왜 할 말이 없으십니까? 잠깐 말을 줄였어. 저 인간이?
There's something about
야, 가자.
astronomy
혐의 열렸다.
that's
아니, 저 인간이
something.
진짜.
Let's ask him about it.
가자. 야, 그대 혐의에 대해 물어보겠소.
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
왜 이런 질문을
I have
하는
a theory about you,
거냐면
Professor.
Oh, go on.
사실은 당신은 사실 천문학에 전혀 관심이 없습니다.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested
맞아, 살짝
in a
다른 연구
slightly
분야에 관심이 있는
different
거지.
field of research.
짜란. 실제로 연구하고 있는 것은 황금 딱정벌레.
I don't have time
Oh,
for
yeah.
tiny, insignificant
이거지.
insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
망원경으로
Yes, naturally. My
건너방을
little
보는 걸
portal into
좋아하지.
another world.
Yeah, about that.
예. 자. 자, 봅시다. 자, 포인트의 망원경이 실제로 보고 있었던 것은 범죄 현장이지. 범죄 현장이며 하늘을 보고 있었던 게 아니었다.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
그렇지.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
그러니까요.
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
그래서 그 중에 하나의 용의자가
Might not have been
프레야였고
Flora you were spying on.
프레야다.
Might have been Freya.
그렇죠.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was
걸렸지.
always sneaking around. Both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
하자.
No,
우리
I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora?
플로라가
You
누워
mean
있었다고?
Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark. The telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
플로라가
This
누워
changes your
있었다고요?
statement, doesn't it?
맞아, 진술이
Yeah, everything I
엇갈리는데.
told you in my statement was true.
야야야야야.
Apart from the reason you left your
야,
tower
그
in the first
이유가
place.
바뀌었잖아, 너 지금.
Right.
이 새끼 거짓말.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
그럼 다시 가. 얘 지금 가자. 얼레리.
Freya was definitely up to something.
펠탐은 막 엄청 길진 않은데 한 4-5시간? 5-6시간? 정도 되는 것 같습니다.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
이.
Maybe we should go back and
야,
check.
정은. 헉! 새로운 게 생겼어. 이게 뭐지?
This wasn't here before.
그러니까 이거 원래 없었는데.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab. What does it say? Grimoire?
그리머? 헐 대박. 음악을 좋아하죠. 단순한 선율은 그의 영혼을 감동시킬 겁니다. 둘에게 행운을 빕니다. 그리고 모양이 4개가 왔다 갔다 하는 것 같은데 얜 뭐죠? 음악을 좋아한다. 선율은 그의 영혼을 감동시킬 거다. 선율?
What do you think?
How?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea.
Well,
왜요?
It's a perfect match.
프레이야 글씨체다.
well, it's confirmed.
대박.
We have a ghost helping us.
와 미친 프레이안 죽었는데? 아니 이게 어떻게 된 거야? 아니 어떻게 된 거야? 프레이야 죽었는데.
Let's keep this to
프레이야가
ourselves for
자기의
now.
죽음 후에 우리가 올 걸 생각하고 미리 다 판을 짜놨다고?
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
엥? 끝나지 않은 사건 계속하기. 자 일단 그러면 새로 주운 이상 개딱지 어디 갔습니까? 이걸로 소리를 수집하는 건가 봐요. 선율이라고 하면 일단은 생각난 건 피아노인데 가봅시다. 짱!
Yeah, it's mine.
오케이. 선율을 들려줄 수 있나요?
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
딴딴딴. 이걸로는 안 되나? 으아! 뭔가 됐다! 헉! 피아노 선율 얻었어. 헉! 알겠다! 이게 그건가 봐. 이게 이 하프 동상을 열 수 있는 소리들인가 봐. 여기 종소리 말하는 소리인가? 이건 모르겠어. 종소리, 말하는 소리, 피아노 소리, 병아리, 새소리로 일단 추정이 됩니다. 이거를 하프 비번이네 이거. 종소리 어딘지 알아. 이거 정문. 여기. 가자. 예스. 땡뚱땡. 그렇지, 이거지. 그러면 하나가 새소리랑 하나가 말소리인데, 말소리는 모르겠는데, 새소리는 여기 아니면 여기겠죠. 여기부터 가봅시다. 페넬로피.
They're bird cages, but the birds are
Is
coming.
that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
아니다, 이거 여기다. 여기서 처음에 수수들 그 새들이 뚜뚜뚜뚜 거렸던 거. 맞아, 이거예요. 뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜. 근데 이제 하나가 남았는데 얘가 진짜 뭔지 모르겠네. 사람이 내는 소리. 사람이 내는 소리 어떻게 찾나? 사람이 내는 소리 뭔지 알았다. 축음기를 돌리자. 축음기! 여기에. 여기는 피아노 소리니까 이 초록색 테이프를 돌리면 됩니다. 아닌가? 오, 맞아. 네, 이거예요. 이거 맞아. 이거네.
Weird.
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
그렇지. 허밍. 다 했다. 이거야. 이거야. 이거였어. 가자. 자, 그러면 이제
That's all four melodies.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the
가자. 정원에 가보겠습니다. 열어보자.
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now.
근데 나 그게 기억이 안 나. 모양이 매치 한 번만 다시 시키고 올게.
I'm sure we can solve this now.
자, 그러면 모양을 서로 매치를 시키자. 초인종이 약간 밑으로 팔이 내려가 있는 거. 내려간 팔. 콧노래가 올라간 팔. 피아노가 수평 팔. 새소리는 약간 근육 자랑. 오케이. 내려간, 올라간, 수평, 근육 자랑.
Let's try this again.
내려간, 근육 자랑. 네? 이게 다 맞는데? 엥? 이게 맞는데?
Nope.
소리 아닌가?
I'm sure we can solve this now.
이거 맞는데? 왜지? 초인종이 초인종 소리, 콧노래 소리, 피아노 소리, 새소리. 엥? 어떤 식으로 푸는 거지? 소리는 다 따왔는데 엥?
Let's try this again.
기둥 부분을 회전할 수 있어. 아, 같은 모양으로 하는겨? 아이, 그런 거였어. 아이, 이게 약간 나와 사고방식이 약간 다르구만. 아, 오케이. 아, 그 같은 모양으로 하는겨. 그렇군. 그러면 이쪽으로 이거다.
That's gotta be right.
뭐야 이게?
Nothing.
엥?
Maybe it's broken.
엥?
Wait,
왜
do you hear that?
저걸 똑같이 하는 거라니? 어째서 그런 게 퍼즐이지? 헉! 잠깐만! 저거 열린 거 아니야?
Are we gonna go in?
아, 잠깐 지금 들어가지 말자. 아, 잠깐.
Yeah,
지금 들어가자고?
but there's a couple of things I want to do first.
모든 용의자 혐의 조사 완료해야 된대. 저 용의자 혐의 2개 남았어요. 셀리와 대화하라고? 용의자 혐의를 다 조사한 다음에 그 다음에 셀리랑 대화하고 저기 들어가는 건가 봐. 아까 그 퍼즐은 좀 뭔가 알 수 없구만. 나라면 그런 식으로 되짚어보자고? 아니야, 일단 혐의를 하자. 지금 혐의가 남은 사람은 둘입니다. 피트랑 페니. 대화 좀 할까? 자, 일단 페니한테 프레이야에 대해 물어보자. 프레이야가 피해자니까.
She'd sit in the aviary, first thing in the morning, and paint the birds. Sometimes she'd ask me their names.
Freya was interested in studying bird species too?
No, just wanted to know their names. Isabelle, Clementine, Myrtle, Lysandre, Genevieve.
Got it, thanks.
21st
No
birthday,
way.
she gave me a framed painting. All the birds from a single spring, with their names written underneath. I can't begin to tell you how much I've treasured it.
Sounds like you two were close.
I feel like I always struggled to articulate my admiration for her, but she had a way of understanding unspoken things.
자, 새와 새장에 대해 물어볼게.
I must say the girls are awfully well behaved today. I think they know we're in the presence of company.
They belong to you. Why do you keep them in a cage?
맞아.
They need a special diet, particular treatment. I let them out to fly occasionally, of course. But they're all one of a kind. I couldn't let anything happen to them.
Do they have names?
Of course. Let me introduce you to Tabitha, Tamara, and Tatiana.
왜 다 타로 시작하지?
I've already forgotten all three of those names.
Which one is which?
벌써 세 마리 이름 다 까먹었대.
Tatiana is the oldest. Tabitha is the most patient, and Tamara has the best sense of rhythm.
Glad we cleared that up.
What about the one on your head?
On my head?
Yes.
It's just my hat.
아,
It doesn't have a
모자예요?
name. Who would name their hat?
모자구나. 아, 모자였군. 초상화에 대해 물어보면 이 새의 깃털에 대해 알지 않을까?
I doubt Freya intended it, but the overall effect is a little unsettling.
아닌가? 난 이 깃털에 대해 뭐라 할 줄 알았어.
Don't you think? It's Flora that's the problem. She's an inescapably haunting presence, bless her.
하프 동상. 얘한테는 뭘 얘기해줘야 혐의가 풀릴까잉? 아니 잠깐만, 피츠에 대해 얘기해보자.
Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky,
브루리.
yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just
자기
sounds like you
남편을
don't know
자기가
him very well.
모른다.
I don't remember asking for your input.
그게 까칠하다. 그러면 포피에 대해서는?
Oh, did you talk to Poppy already?
Yeah, a little bit.
And did you make any notes of what she told you?
Yeah, I did.
Lovely. Burn them.
오!
All be lies.
Why would Poppy lie to us?
와
Because
미쳤다.
that's what she does.
와 완전
She's
적대적이야.
a snake. Looks like one too.
Don't you think you're being a
하긴
little
그럴만하긴
unfair, Penny?
한데.
She started it.
얘네 둘 관계 안 해. 정말 잘 알고 있네. 그것도 무려 티내네. 오호야.
There's something about those petals. we
혐의가
found.
열렸습니다. 아싸리.
Something.
Let's ask her about it.
가자. 컴온. 혐의.
So, yeah. We
예.
found this.
오케이.
Oh, that.
네.
That's nothing.
You
거짓말.
wrote, "Now I'll get her" on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not
거짓말.
nothing.
그게 아무것도 아니라고? 거짓말하네.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
맞아요. 그 꽃이 뭡니까?
Petals.
빨간 장미의 꽃잎이죠.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses and who they belong to.
좋아요. 가자. 자, 이 사진을 보여주면, 이 그림을 보여주면 될 것 같습니다. 자, 프리아의 그림. 피츠가 빨간 장미를 들고 있는데 포피랑 같이 있죠?
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at. But
오.
it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
원래 들어갈
Is
수도.
it really only accessible from those two bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't
새들은
forget,
갈 수 있지.
Penny's the resident ornithologist.
My
이야.
dears, what
야,
are
새들을
you
그렇게
accusing
썼다고?
me of?
야, 알려주지. 옥상 정원에 새들의 깃털이 잔뜩 떨어져 있었다는 걸 알려줘야 돼요. 자, 일단은 모모는 뭘 엿보는데 사용되었다. 바로? 아니야, 엿보는데? 죽여? 안 죽였어 아직. 아, 펜니의 꽃은 선물이었다. 선물을 받은 건 아닌데. 포피와 피츠는 아닌데. 펜니의 새 중 한 마리는 무언가를 엿보는데 사용되었다. 바로 포피와 피츠. 임명? 그들에게서 증거를 훔쳤다. 돈은 아니고 성공하지 못했다? 그들의 주의를 돌렸다? 살인을 꾸미고 있었기 때문이다. 아니 근데 이거 너무 재밌는데? 이거 해보자.
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz.
아깝다.
because they were
살인을 꾸미고
planning
있진
a
않았구나.
murder. Almost.
오케이.
Maybe just change.
증거겠다. 살인을 꾸민 거였으면 진짜 재밌는데.
One of Penny's birds
가자.
was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden.
그렇죠.
I'm guessing you got paranoid.
그렇죠.
Wanted to know what they
맞아,
were
둘이
up
뭘
to.
하는지 궁금했겠지. 피양새로서.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's
타바사가
certainly never flown up to the rooftop
그래?
garden.
타바사가
We need a
누구였지?
clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to
쟤네
prove one of them has
새들의
been in the
이름이 너무
rooftop
다
garden.
비슷해. 짠! 바로 그것은 4개의 깃털.
Let's take a closer look at these.
깃털을 타바사가 이름이 뭐였지? 아니 쟤가 누구지? 아니 잠깐만 헷갈린다. 누가 타바사지? 이걸 알았어야 된다고? 그걸 주의 깊게 들었어야 된다고? 진짜 너무하네. 펜예 노란색, 펜예 자줏빛색. 그럴 거면 색깔이나 맞춰봅시다. 타바사가 누군지 모르겠지만 전 그러면 노란 깃털과 노란 새를 맞출게요. 이 노란 깃털을 남긴 것은 펜니의 노란 새로 옥상 정원을 방문했을 때이다. 짠!
This yellow
오,
feather
맞췄어!
was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when
타바사가
it visited
노란색을
the
맞았다고?
rooftop garden.
이걸 맞았다고? 에?
I can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden.
내가 솔직히 좀
Couldn't risk
질투날
spying on them
만하지.
myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
뭐 한 3달
Sorry,
사귄
Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
그럼 그냥 애인 사이도
Don't
아니고
understand.
약혼자인데.
Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days. Being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize.
오케이.
This really isn't your burden to bear.
자, 일단 단 한 명의 혐의가 남았습니다. 그것은 바로 피츠. 피츠 씨, 우리가 무슨 대화를 더 해야 될까요? 피츠, 페니, 프레이야, 혹쇼, 플로라.
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see. I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone.
펠릭스, 피피, 포인터 교수. 플로라의 그림. 초상화, 죽음기. 이 친구한테 뭘 더 물어봐야 할까?
Did Freya draw these?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a note on the back, too.
She was even closer to Flora than I realized. Felix made that? Huh. That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
뭐가 남았을까? 이 친구의 혐의를 끝내겠어. 얘만 하면 다 하는데 혐의. 피츠는 혐의가 어떻게 풀릴까? 펠릭스, 피피, 포인터.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
거짓말.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
펠릭스.
Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
프레야의 물감 초상화.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
오.
I don't know. It does look like a knife, but Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her after the
맞아,
murder.
저건 칼이 아니거든.
There's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this
다들
position.
플로라가
Oh, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all.
다
She
누워있다
was
그랬네.
kneeling on the floor.
바닥에 무릎을 꿇은 상태로. 오케이. 아, 피피한테 피치 안 해본 것 같기도. 해보자. 피피야, 내가 너에게 피치 얘기를 했던가? 피피 아는데.
Name, Fitzfellow. Age,
Fitzfellow.
24.
Yeah.
Profession, cryptobotanist.
Okay.
Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on. Cryptobotanist? I thought he was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. He's well over 6 foot and you've got to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem
아니,
with him?
왜 애한테 키 작다고 뭐라
Exactly 1 week
해?
ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a
어?
knife.
아, 오케이. 역시 세상의 모든 혐의는 피피가 풀어주는구나. 역시 예리해.
There's
가자.
something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer
아,
Tower.
피피가
Something
역시 똑똑해요.
suspicious.
똘똘이.
Let's ask him about
가자.
it.
아유, 피피 복덩어리. 가자. 자, 마지막 피츠의 혐의입니다.
So, Fitz,
피츠.
I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower. Holding a knife.
그렇지.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
오,
How did you know that?
어떻게 알았냐?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
아, 피피는 피츠를 정말로 봤어. 하지만 그는 칼이 아닌 다른 걸 들고 있었지.
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife,
역시
what was
이것도-
it?
얼룩새에 깃털이 알이 비어 있었잖아. 속이 빈 알.
That's not it.
아, 그러니까 그런 뜻이 아니고 원래는 이 칼이 아니고 다른 거였나? 칼같이 장식된 모종삽인가?
What about this?
이거다.
That.
헐,
Is it
대박.
yours?
It was a gift.
헐,
It's
헐.
sentimental.
헐, 헐,
I have
헐.
no reason to take it up Pointer
헐, 헐,
Tower.
헐,
I
헐.
don't use it at all.
이 모종삽이 왜 있나 했더니 야. 장식된 모종삽은 무언가 묶기에 사용됐다. 맞을까? 바로 화분의 꽃. 페니의 방에서. 아니, 포피의 방에. 아니, 페니의 방에서.
An ornate trowel
아니네.
was used to bury a potted flower in Penny's room. Almost.
하나만
Maybe just
바꿔봐.
change one thing.
역시 치정은 어려워요. 포피?
An ornate trowel was
아니네.
used to bury a potted flower in Poppy's room. Nope.
그러면 아까 거기다 펜니의 방에서 무언가를 돌보는데 사용됐다.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower
아,
in Penny's
오케이
room.
오케이. 모종을 화분에
That
묻는 게
flower.
아니고 돌보는데
Yes.
사용됐다.
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
팬의 방에 있는 화분의 꽃과 직접 비교할 수 있는 것. 이거 너무 직접적인가?
We need a clue that's got some
그치.
connection.
너무 직접적이었어. 이거랑 관련된 걸 찾아보자. 이거랑 관련된 거. 구겨진 종이. 화분의 열매.
Let's take a closer look at these.
이게 같은 흙이랬어. 파란 흙. 자, 화분과 흙. 화분과 흙. 잠깐만. 팬의 방. 근데 이건 내 같은 토양과 같은 화분이 쓰였는데 이거를 뭐라고?
The pot and
됐다.
soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse.
그렇지.
Let me
야,
guess. Penny's
Ah.
flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
아,
It took me a long time to breed.
아,
I
진짜
wanted the
팬이의
colors to
색깔과
be exactly
똑같구나.
right.
That's some gift.
옷이
Turns
팬이처럼
out Penny
생겼네.
isn't particularly interested in looking after plants.
그렇지.
So I go into her room every now and again when she's not there. Water the flower, change the soil, just trying to keep it alive.
네, 이런 거 보니까 피츠는 아직 페니를 좋아하잖아요. 아직 페니를 많이 좋아하는지? 자, 이제 야랑 얘기해봅시다. 범죄 현장!
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
자, 자, 칠한 얼룩새 깃털은 피 묻은 칼을 연상시킨다. 물감통의 피는 그림에 사용됐다. 끝이 빨간 칠한 얼룩새 깃털은 피 묻은 칼을 연상시킨다.
Blood from the paint
그렇지.
pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to
우와.
resemble a bloody knife.
그렇지.
I think you're right. Can't
Mhm.
decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
그러니까.
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down.
그렇지.
Normally, it can only be opened from the
문은 안에서
inside.
밖으로 열린다.
Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope,
응?
but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like
그렇죠.
Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle.
프레이야가 입은 상처의 각도를 고려하면 정확히 직각으로 찔렸다. 그러면 저쪽 약간 교수님이 바라보던 방향 그대로 찍혔는데 그렇게 찔린
That
건데
is from directly
그치
in front of her.
정면에서 찔린 건데
But she was standing right up
저
that
캔버스
canvas.
바로 앞에 서 있었어.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe
아니면
something went through it.
그림을 관통해서 뭐가 정면에서 찔렀거나 아니면 프레이야가 먼저 정확히 등을 바닥에 붙이고 넘어진 다음에 천장에서 자상을 남긴 거지. 순서가 잘못된 게 아닐까요?
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
그림을 통과해서가
Okay,
아니고
well, how about
먼저
this?
넘어진 거지.
How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over?
그래, 쓰러지고 나서 찔린 거라고.
Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated. Are we done?
Yes.
For now, it's about time we found
가자.
out what's...
자, 이제 정원 밑에 이상한 방으로 들어가 보겠습니다.
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
가자! 다운. 와우. 지하. 계속하기. 여기는 조명이 왜 이렇게 지네처럼 생겼어?
Forensic Entomology, Volume 3.
That's an incredibly specific... Hand-drawn entomology charts. Hand-drawn entomology charts. It's so dark, I can barely tell what I'm looking at. A cracked glass tank. Each one has one or two insects inside.
I like that you called them rooms. It's a hatch.
아래로 향하는 쪽문이 있어.
But we're already...
Depends on your perspective.
Let's not go down just yet. We still haven't explored this room properly.
오케이. 자, 일단 여기 이상한 열쇠를 꽂는 곳이 있고요.
Rows of
What
plants.
color is the soil?
It looks black, but it's too dark.
다른 거는 뭐 다른 거 없으려나?
It looks like the liquid is ice cold.
자,
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it?
가자. 야,
Weird looking
뭐냐?
safe.
I'm pretty sure the
이상하게
latches
생긴
can slide
거네.
into the middle.
걸쇠를 중앙으로 움직일 수 있을 거야. 아! 오호. 오호. 아, 왼쪽에서 시작해서 오른쪽으로 길... 아, 이걸 잇는 건가? 아니, 안 이어지는데. 네. 요걸 잇나? 아닌데. 이렇게 해서 얘네를 이어. 헉! 이건가 봐. 그래서 얘를 이렇게 이어. 그래서 얘를 여기에 이어. 됐다!
That's the one.
Hey,
아,
not bad.
이 퍼즐 싫어.
Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
이상한 걸 줬네요. 방금 퍼즐 굉장히 싫어. 어우, 힘들었네. 헉, 얘는 뭐냐? 얘 또 무슨 원소 기호랑 알, 식물, 뱀장어 그런 게 있네.
We already solved it.
그럼 이제 내려가는 건가 봐요. 오케이.
A candle.
Very medieval.
I was thinking-
Medieval pirates.
It's so dark. I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
오케이. 다른 거 눌러볼 건 다 눌러본 것 같으니까 내려가 보도록 하겠습니다.
It's a hatch.
But we're already...
Depends on your perspective.
Let's not... We still haven't explored this room properly.
이 방에 뭔가 조사할 게 더 있나 보다. 야, 자꾸 안 내려가려는 거 보니까 뭔가가 더 있나 보다.
This place would never.
A glass tank?
There's a layer of condensation on the inside. What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about?
짠!
Is that a periodic
이거
table?
No.
주기율표야 이거?
But it does kind of look like one.
비슷하게 생겼다.
What are those symbols?
They're alchemic symbols, mostly based on the planets, the sun, the moon.
Huh. Is that a
No, but it does
What are
come.
those-
They're alchemic symbols, mostly based.
Huh.
아싸 도전까지 깨졌다. 개굿. 딱정벌레 한번 볼게요.
What's in there?
이게 뭐냐? 딱정벌레들 표본이 다 있네. 얘 진짜 예쁘게 생겼다. 이 딱정벌레.
9 beetles. All
Poor
different.
little
Okay.
guys.
There's a bunch of notes written. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean. 9 beetles. All
Poor
different.
little guys.
There's a bunch of notes, mostly numbers. No idea what they mean.
얘네를 움직일 순 없거든? 근데 얘는 약간 21, 47, 12, 33, 111? 약간 그런 어떻게 그렇게 써있는데 일단 뭘 갖다
Nine.
움직이는 건
There's a
아니군요.
bunch. It's mostly numbers.
어?
Whose research is this?
딱정벌레에 미쳐있는 사람 당연히 교수님 아닐까? 비밀 실험실.
This is some seriously in-depth research.
그렇죠.
That's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a
Okay.
section missing.
짜란. 그렇지. 1, 2, 3, 4. 아, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
그럴듯,
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
그럴듯한
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
네.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here,
네.
why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who is he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
자, 그가 이루려는 건 자, 번식시키려고 그랬나? 포인터는 무언가를 번식시키려 했다. 바로 황금 딱정벌레이며 장소는 지하 실험실이었다.
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the
그렇군.
underground laboratory.
예이!
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty,
Infinite.
네.
Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
might have been Freya after all.
진짜
We know she was
프레야가
trying to get
훔친 게
through the
맞았을
secret
수도?
door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe
오.
she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
프레야가
I think we're still
은근히
missing the bigger picture.
다
There's
알고
no
있었나
way
봐요.
this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
오케이.
Ready to go down again?
가자. 야, 이 밑에 또 있냐? 야, 가장 아래층입니다.
Old cardboard box.
How exciting.
No, but they're also damp and empty.
Empty.
It's an old coat rack.
2 cloaks and a green hat draped.
Do these puddles?
Why?
That's lake water, but it's indoors.
Ah, I see your point.
자, 이건 뭘까?
We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy.
금속 막대를 얻었습니다. 그 막대의 끝은 마치 화살이나 시계바늘처럼 뾰족하고 구부러졌다. 아하.
So what's the photo?
잉어! 플로라랑 플로라의 아버지로 추측이 되는데 조부겠다. 조부. 옆엔 큰 남자가 앉아있다. 그 주위로 빨갛고 하얀색 몇 마리가 있다. 금속 물체가 사진을 찌른 상태이다. 남자의 가슴 근처에 구멍이 나있다. 난 알았어. 이 사람이었어. 펠릭스가 조각한 사람은 피츠도 아니고 이 사람이네. 보라색 수염이 있는 남자. 어째 집안 구성원에 그런 사람이 없더라요.
Do you know who it is in the photo?
잠시만 다른 거 둘러보고 쟤한테 말
There's a roll
걸겠습니다.
of paper.
I'll see
Let me
then.
guess.
왔다. 오! 이게 뭐냐? 옛날 그 타워가 위로 더 올라가기 전에 그런 집 구조도인가 봐. 세장, 침실, 연구실, 침실, 창고 맞죠? 서재, 그랜드홀, 음악실, 여기 지하.
Hold on. Have we been to all of these rooms already?
우리 여기 있는 거 다 가봤냐고? 연구실! 연구실! 아니? 연구실 안
Hold
가봤어.
on. Have we been to all of these rooms?
여기.
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no.
How did we miss it?
왜 여기에 방이 없는 것처럼 보였지?
This seems pretty significant.
헐.
Grade.
헐. 하이. 여기 방이 있잖아. 에? 그럼 여긴 어떻게 갈까요? 1번 그랜드홀에서 올라간다. 2번 얘 벽을 뚫고 간다. 3번 페넬로페 벽을 뚫고 간다. 4번 위에 옥상 정원에서 연못을 통해 자유낙하를 한다. 뭐지? 저기는 어떻게 가는 거지? 일단 다른 걸 보자.
A single book on a
This is creepy.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
What the? 이거 어린이용 책 같대. 야, 하늘과 바다의 미스티드. 어린이용 그림책. 매우 오래된 것 같다. 얼룩새. 빨갛고 하얀 깃털에 우아한 새. 은뱀. 눈이 없고 대신 혀가 길어서 긴 혀를 가진 수생 파충류. 영혼 전달자. 각 크기가 다른 집게발을 가진 개. 양서구리. 두 발로 걷는 개구리같이 생긴 생물체. 근데 얘가 실제로 이 집에 있었다는 거지. 얘 조각상으로 보이는 것도 좀 많고. 자, 말씀해보세요 이제. 수상한 사진.
This man in the
Yes.
photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
가자. 사진 쪽 남자를 묘사한 것. 이거다. 어딨냐? 이거예요, 이거.
Felix made a little model of him
그렇지.
for Flora.
Yeah, it makes sense when you know who he is.
이분은 플로라 펠로의 아버지니까 펠로우 경이겠지.
Lord Fellow.
Really?
아빠.
Wait, no, hang on.
Felix made a little model of him
아니까?
for Flora.
아빠 서울
Yeah.
떼온 게 아니라고?
Makes sense when you know who he is. Lord Remington.
Remington. That
어.
makes him Flora's father, meaning the girl in the photo is.
Yeah, it's her. See the bird too.
Yes.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
땡큐? 그러면 이제 궁금하죠. 과연 여기는 어떻게 갈까요? 가장 아래층을 더 살펴봐야 돼? 오케이. 더 살펴봐야 된다고 여기를?
Old cardboard.
exciting.
They're also empty. A single book.
This is.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
It's an empty
Something tells me it's been empty for a long time. Gives off
book.
kind
What do people actually use chains
nothing
for?
good.
호수가 왜 밝지? 야!
Basements don't know.
Or at the bottom of the lake. It must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed,
그러게?
what
왜
does it
밝지?
look
Like
that?
what?
White, smooth,
맞아.
no plants,
응.
no anything. That's not what a lake
맞아.
looks like.
왜지?
Where are we?
여기 어디야?
Did you notice how much light this room has?
맞아요.
For a room with
촛불은
one
하나밖에
candle?
없는데
It's all coming through the window.
창문 자체가 너무 밝아.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be
그렇지.
darker
밝아진 게
at the
아니고
bottom,
어두워져야지.
not lighter.
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was
아,
It's empty though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
in it. It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late.
끝난겨? 아, 여기서 볼일 다 본 것 같다.
I want to find that
나도
last
갈래.
room.
자, 의문의 방으로 가봅시다. 그랜드홀.
Wow.
와우.
It's dark all of a
진짜
sudden.
갑자기 어두워졌어. 여기 완전 쨍쨍했는데.
How long were we down there?
자, 여기가 뭔가 수상합니다.
This must.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on. It's pitch black. But I think there's a switch.
눌러봐! 짜란! 여긴 어딘가요?
A ladder.
Yeah.
Wanna go up?
사다리를 오르자. 숨겨진 심장부. 어! 여기가 비밀의 방이구나. 어!
You know, in any normal room. In here, though, it barely makes the top.
자, 막 이상한 표본들이 있어요.
Snake?
Worm?
That's the one.
Is that a...
It's got a translucent exoskeleton.
Also, crabs
Oh.
normally...
에?
Ugh.
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
어? 응? 이거 어디에서 샘플이 있나 보다. 그거랑 모양을 똑같이 만들어야 되는 거 아닐까요?
This crab really
That little wooden toy.
Yeah, but I don't think I think I've seen it more recently.
싫어합니다. 설마 얘랑 똑같이 만들으라는 건 아니겠지? 얘는 그저 장난감인데. 그거 말고 다른 괜찮은 이 그림책하고 똑같이 만들어보자. 일단 집 개발 커다란 두 개는 펴고 있고 약간 저런 모양으로 펴고 있고 이건 하나 닫고 있고 이 모양으로 만들어 볼게요.
Is that a crab?
It's got a
Also,
자, 집 개발을 핀 다음에 약간 이런 모양이었는데? 요런 느낌. 이런 느낌.
perfect.
오케이. 우와! 헉, 열렸다. 진짜 열리네. 아, 책 모양 그대로구나.
What's this?
something somebody didn't want us to find.
석궁을 찾았습니다. 알았다.
What is it?
프레이야가 석궁으로 죽었는데? 왜냐하면 프레이야가 죽은 방의 위층에서 이게 나왔잖아. 감개. 이게 석궁에 연결된 게 아니었을까?
Those aren't.
Some of them are.
At least they're all empty.
자, 일단 여기 있는 거를 또 봅시다.
And I'm more worried about the one that isn't there.
그게 바로 석궁이지.
Coffee table.
I'm gonna. Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
여러 페이지가 찢어졌지만 몇 페이지는 남아있다. 5번째 대표자를 찾았다. 드디어 그다지 기대는 하지 않았지만 역시나 실망하고 말았다. 나머지와 다를 바가 없어. 내 미스티드 친구를 실험을 위해 음악실로 데려갔다. 성공적이었다. 실험실조차 실망을 안겨줬다. 무엇 때문에 그 노력을 들인 거지? 그는 내가 생각한 것보다 훨씬 근시안이었다. 지하에 갔다. 전망이 좋다. 대부분 사라진 상태지만 내가 원하는 것은 얻었다. 그녀가 들어왔었다. 조심해서 아무것도 움직인 것은 없다. 하지만 난 알지. 때가 왔다. 그녀는 프레이야인가?
It's a wooden pinboard hung up on.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
야! 혹슈다 혹슈! 아래에 망토를 입은 실루엣으로 보이는 작은 그림이 있다. 혹슈인데? 이 그림 였다가 이거
It's a wooden pin hung up on.
Looks like there's a couple of things
사진-
missing from it.
이거! 이게 그 사진인 우와! 이게 그 사진인데 뭐가 어떻게 된 거지? 아하하하 아하하. 자, 무기를 발견했거든요. 석궁을.
Was someone trying to hide it from us?
I don't know. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are
다른
the other
부분은
parts?
이미 찾았잖아, 우리.
We found them already.
Yes. 바로 그것은 여기에 이게 있었던 거지. 그리고 이거는 뭐지? 이건가? 아닌데 이건 앞에 넣어야 되는데. 아! 이게 이거지. 그 다음에 여기에 화살을 놔봐. 됐다. 이거지. 이걸 어떻게?
What do you make of it?
Not sure.
그래.
Let's keep an open
우린
mind.
모든
You
재료를
don't
얻었다.
think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is
이거죠. 딱
definitely the
맞죠.
murder weapon. But that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery.
자, 일단 이건 됐고.
Who are all the
얘는
Not
누구죠?
sure. Their eyes have all been crossed out.
단단한 나무 액자 속 사진. 먼지 투성이며 오래된 것 같다. 액자 밑에 노쇠판에 적힌 것은 미스티드 저택의 대표자들. 5번째 대표자를 찾았다 그랬거든 아까. 사진 속에는 2명의 여성과 3명의 남성이 다양한 스타일의 옷을 입고 있다. 일단 이 사람이 그 플로라랑 같이 있던 플로라랑 사진에서 같이 있던 사람인 것 같아. 오케이. 띠롱.
That photo is important.
야! 야야야야야 5사람.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
그렇죠.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at Tangle Tower?
아니요, 없습니다.
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix. But now that I look at it,
맞아, 펠리스
I
아니야.
don't think it is him.
자, 하나의 단서가 남았는데
It's a wooden pin hung up on one of
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
아, 여기서 더 조사할 순 없구나.
Nice chair. Maybe it's just heat from the
the...
incinerator.
Maybe. An incinerator still pretty hot.
Is there anything
It's
left inside?
mostly ashes, but yeah, there's something.
소각로 안에 뭐가 있대. 헉! 불에 탄 물건들. 그냥 먼지와 잿더미이다. 잿더미 속에 검은 버튼이 몇 개 있고, 야, 깃털 모임. 이거 얼룩새 깃털 모임. 야, 얼룩새 깃털 너무 잘 보이는군. 진짜 잘 보이네. 가자.
Someone's been using this room.
이 방을 지금 누가 쓰고 있어. 아직도 쓰고 있어. 연구!
I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the
코리아
mansion.
만만세.
But nowadays it's some big
자,
secret.
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
교수님 같은데.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
자, 일단 여기에 있는 거는 이 사진입니다. 네. 그다음 여기 있을 사진은 찢어진 거 이거. 됐다. 뭘 더 놔야 되나? 오케이.
The painting from Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes?
그렇죠.
What kind of sense does that make?
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else. Someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all
그럴까?
this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
근데 물어봐도 나쁘진 않을 것 같은데. 와.
Time to solve this.
Time to solve this. 살인 음모.
All right, break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with
좋습니다.
this.
오케이.
It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon.
이건
I'm
진짜
sure of it.
완전 살인
Despite the
무기고.
fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime
그래도
scene.
이게
It was cleaned,
씻겨졌겠죠.
then it was hidden.
그렇죠.
I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
좋아요.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
프레이야의 위에서 쐈어.
It was fired from above Freya.
맞아.
Love, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime
그렇죠.
scene.
좋습니다.
Attic.
Perfect
맞아.
hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
네.
It's
그렇지.
directly above where Freya was found
그렇게
lying
썼다고.
on her back.
Nope.
어,
Doesn't
왜,
add
왜,
up.
왜?
It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
아니지. 그냥 그 전에
right.
넘어진 거야.
Unless...
어떻게 넘어졌을까? 프레이야는 이미 누워있는 상태였어.
Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too.
쉬고 있었다? 아니 자기 그림을 그리다가 갑자기 벌러덩 한 다음에 에? 쉬어야지 했을 리가 있냐? 그랬을 리가 있냐? 의식이 없는 상태였어.
She'd fallen unconscious.
Something in the
진짜
room
어이가
caused
없네.
Freya to fall unconscious.
헉! 근데 플로라도 그때 무릎을 꿇고 약간 반 쓰러져 있다고 했으니까 그때 뭔가 물감 냄새? 축음기? 물감 냄새?
Paint fumes.
I'm not sure about
아니야?
that.
Me
그럼
neither.
축음기?
Something in the room caused
왜
Freya to
의식
fall
불명이 됐지?
unconscious.
왜 둘 다 얘는 뒤로 벌러덩 넘어지고 얘는 약간 주저앉은 이유가 있을 텐데. 축음기?
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
축음기 안에 뭐가 있었어.
There was something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
짠! 그때 듣고 있던 건 이 테이프입니다.
That's not it.
어? 쉬익거리는 큰 소리는 95데시벨 이상. 이게 헐! 그러면 이 소리 때문에 다들 그니까 약간 의식을 잃은 건가?
Pointer's research says
헐,
it
헐,
can
헐.
emit an
헐, 대박.
incredibly loud hiss
헐,
when it feels
대박.
threatened. Poppy and Fitz both
오.
said they heard a loud noise around
그렇군요.
the time of the murder. Neither of them had any
둘
idea
다
what
무슨
it
소리인지
was.
모르겠다
This seems
했어.
a little far-fetched.
그
Is that
정도
really loud enough to
95데시벨
knock someone
이상이래잖아.
out?
No, I don't think so. Not by itself. But don't forget, it was being
아,
amplified
그걸
by
다시
the shape of the
증폭하는 거구나,
gramophone.
축음기가.
I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a
엄청나겠는데?
particular type of frequency.
오,
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't. But I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The
그럼요.
hornet's playing. It's
아,
a pretty similar shape
이게
to the one on the
유리를
gramophone.
깼다는 거를
That broken
보고
glass isn't there on
실험해 본
accident.
거네.
This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking
미리
about
한번
it,
해보고
Pointer said he
위력이
saw
어느
Flora
정도인지
was knocked
확인한
out too.
다음에
I guess they were both in range of the noise.
여기다
Although
그게
Pointer might
그걸
have been
넣은
lying.
거지.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too.
짠! 강력한 주파수에 영향받았던 것? 영향받았던 것? 뭐
That's not it.
아니 영향받았던 거? 영향을 받았던 거? 그 자리에 있던?
That's not it.
왜? 아 금이 갔구나!
Those cracks didn't appear out of
그래서
nowhere.
다 깨진 거야. 그 물감들도 그래서 다 깨졌구나. 그 주파수 때문에 그 테이프도 깨지고 거기에 있던 프레이야 물감들도 다 금가고
Freya's paints,
어.
the pink cassette
어,
tape,
어.
and the gramophone itself, they all sustained
헐,
similar
대박.
damage while they were in that room.
헐
That's some seriously powerful vibration.
헐
Enough to
엄청나.
crack metal. Enough to
그러니까요.
knock someone out all the way across.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range,
귀마개.
how did the murderer pull it off?
귀마개.
Wouldn't they have been in range
피츠의
too? Think
귀마개가
about it.
복도에
They can't
떨어져
have been
있었던
much
이유.
further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
귀마개 리스. 살인자는 자신을 보호했어.
They protected themselves.
How?
귀마개.
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs.
그렇지.
I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right.
헐.
Let's go over everything from the start.
헐.
1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
네.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah, what triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm
위협을
not sure. Maybe something in the music?
위협을 할 만한
Maybe.
소리?
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations.
이때?
Freya lands on her back. She drops the
프레야를
brush and
쐈고.
palette by her side.
그렇죠.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
그렇지.
6. The arrow is pulled back up
오.
on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic,
네.
presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
That's it.
와.
There's
우와.
something bothering. I just... Let's go back to the crime scene.
플로라의 탑으로 가자. 진짜 밤 됐네. 완전 깜깜해졌네. 플로라가 없어졌습니다잉.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
It's dark.
짠! 이 뭔가 단서 하나를 찾아야 해. 그래 이 사건을 풀 수 있어. 마지막이야.
The plant. It's in the
What?
book. Look.
헐. 그러면 저
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
탄tum 아미카?
The plant. It's in...
What?
Look.
잠만. 특이한 먹이 섭취 특성을 가지고 있는데 이 열매만을 먹는다. 이 열매만을 먹는다. 열매? 야, 이게 생긴 게 완전 다르게 생겼어.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
빠진 단서.
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink dip feather?
It was here. In this room.
저 재 속에
Where'd
있잖아.
it go?
다른 곳에서 찾았잖아.
We found it somewhere else.
여기.
We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene.
그렇죠.
And ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
그렇죠.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the
범인은
question is,
다들 이
how
방에
could they
들어올 때
steal
같이
something
들어온 거
from a
아니야?
room they weren't able to access?
새가 물어다 줬나?
The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here.
바로 끝내지 못한 그림이야.
It's in the unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished it, and then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas.
프레이야는 자기가 그릴 그림의 계획을 어떻게 보여줬을까? 프레이야는 자기가 그릴 그림의 계획을 어떻게 보여줬을까? 설마!
Freya prepared all the colors she was going
헐.
to need before she started painting.
아, 팔레트엔 자기가 쓸 색을 미리 준비해 놓으니까. 아, 노란색이 아직 안 쓰셨나? 노란 물감이? 오케이. 이거를 이 스케치를 칠하는데 쓰려고 했는데 이거는 창문에 앉아있던 무언가. 헉! 이거 진짜 새인가봐! 페넬로페 새.
The yellow paint was going to be used to
페넬로페
paint
새다.
the sketch of something sitting
진짜
in the window.
페넬로페 새인가봐.
Something in the
그럼
window.
진짜로 범인이 페넬로페라고?
Oh.
헐, 펜이라고? 와우.
That's not it.
잠깐만. 뭐 플로라의 탑 창문에 있는 거. 이거. 미친? 미친?
There she is.
헐,
Our
대박.
little thief.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did,
오 갓.
but she's a very good listener.
그래서 왜 여기 계시죠? 뭔데?
Well, now,
네.
I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
응?
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind.
헐.
But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our
헐.
attention?
그녀 손을 묶어. 묶어! 묶을 만큼 튼튼한 거. 감개에 있는 로프? 감개.
Lovely. Now,
오케이.
tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
전 그냥 진실을 추구합니다.
I just need to know the truth.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
뭔데?
So, what?
왜,
You just
왜?
hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy, the volition to create something from nothing, the willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
그게 질투났던
You know
건가?
what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
진짜.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, what is it, 3 times now?
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook. Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer?
헐. 그녀는 내가 보기에 저 사람은 외로운 사람인데.
I suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at Tangle Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing and not a you thing?
자꾸 셀리가
Perhaps you
뼈
didn't
때려.
notice. Not one of them is happy. Not one.
So why stay? Why
맞아,
not just
떠나면
leave?
안 되나?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you
맞아,
traveled,
그리고
didn't you?
돌아왔다고.
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other 2 Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And
사람
Fitz's
진짜
father.
많다.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but
Mhm.
don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do at first. Nobody
아
would
근데
tell me
아직도
anything.
모르겠어.
The more questions I asked,
그래서 왜 프레야가
fewer
죽어야
answers I
했지?
got. Then I found it. I was 19.
어?
Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to a bedroom.
그렇지.
I'd hear voices at night. Deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end. The paint
오!
would peel. Wallpaper wouldn't stay up.
연구실을
was
이용한 건
cursed. I thought it was something
페니가 아니야.
trying to
누가 거기에
break
불을
through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore.
소각
I found my way in the
소각실?
same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the
소각로를
study and
발견했고,
found the
그래서
incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then
Mhm.
I looked inside. Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a misted is?
Misted?
안다 해볼까?
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time,
Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mystids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being mystids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones.
That's not it.
나라면 이거 좀 흥미로웠을 것 같은데.
That's not right.
야, 연구실에서 찾은 거. 그게 그녀의 의문에 해답을 주었다. 그게 그들... 이건가?
The 5 missing family members
그러네.
standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of Misted Mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And rightly so. The age of Misted Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era denied to me in its entirety. The study, the room at the bottom of the lake itself, all empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them,
이거 약간
maybe they'd share the family history.
게임이 약간 뮤지컬 같아요.
The others were trying so hard to forget.
약간 그런 기분?
How did you track them down?
그러게.
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts. The creatures themselves, all lost. Taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And? What happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
맞아.
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission, a unified purpose, but they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mystids. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5 completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision.
저급한 곤충학자 페넬로페. 여기 사는 사람들이 다들 좀 이상하긴 한데 좀 돌아버렸어.
There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Misted Mansion.
자, 그것은 바로
So where did he get the beetle?
그렇지.
I cannot be sure.
우편물로
But I
받았다고
theorized that he received it
추측한다고?
in the post.
In the post?
에?
From who?
Who can say?
찢겨진
Outside
편지.
Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person, all that time, I decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him.
하!
He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
와, 진짜
Why?
놀아놨네, 손바닥
Why
위에서.
go through all that?
맞아.
The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets.
오,
On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory.
오,
Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
오.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
Ha! It carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly
야,
makes the
나머지
water here so
10%에
unique?
주목했구만.
Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the
그래서
story?
프레야가 왜 죽은
Why did
거죠?
you stay? Why did you kill
아,
Freya?
프레야가 그래서 왜 죽은 거죠? 그게 정말 제일 이상하다. 프레야 펠로의 유언. 요. 프레야 펠로의 유언.
Simply put,
너무
Freya was too
뛰어났어요.
good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted?
네, 알았지. 여기 있지 그 증거는?
That's not right.
이거 맞는? 아, 이거.
That almost? But it's not right.
엥? Almost? 아, 요쪽?
That's
아,
right.
그치.
I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the beetles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker
피오나가
secrets of Tangle
여기에
Tower,
실망하게
not
만들어서.
just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all
Ah.
three families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph.
그렇겠지.
I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday
아,
gift, a parting gift.
플로라를 그린 게 이별
She'd be in a locked
선물이었대.
room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough. I couldn't get Flora out of the room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It
그렇게
helped them
생각하면
cope. The
페넬로페
very
굉장히
idea of something abstract.
똑똑하고.
Something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here?
맞아,
Why
왜 안
not take your
갔을까?
first chance and leave?
Ah, well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
헐. 헐. 어? 어? 안 돼, 안 돼, 안 돼, 안 돼. 어? 헐. 배가 없어졌어. 페넬로페가 토꼈다.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
맞아.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here?
맞아.
What happened to
그럼
Penny?
페닌 토꼈겠고.
Fit saved both of you,
아,
obviously.
피츠가 옮겨줬구나.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you.
어잉?
She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us because he liked Penny a lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I
뭘,
heard something land in the garden outside my room.
그
But by the time I got out there to check,
높이에서 뛰어내렸는데 살았어?
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
she left him behind.
아이고.
I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So,
모자
Penny got
귀엽긴 해.
away.
I'm
맞아, 저
afraid she
모자
did.
진짜 귀여워.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's
그런데 왜
edge.
못
I
잡았냐?
proved to be an ineffective guard.
으,
She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope,
How do you know?
because it's right here.
오.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not.
응,
It
저
doesn't
모자.
belong
저
to
안고 있는
anyone.
새. 노란 새가
So,
저거 새 모양
I'm going to put it
모자거든요.
on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
헐, 말도 안 돼. 나가는 길이 하나인데 그 배를 범인이 타고 갔으면 이제 나랑 내 조수는 여기 갇혀서 사는 건가? 이제 진짜 수사하는 것 같았다. 나름 괜찮은 게임이었어. 코리안으로 혜정리 이혜정 씨가 번역하셨네. 뚠뚠뚠뚠 저 딱정벌레 너무 귀엽구만? 도망 날아가는구만? 잘 가잉. 가불었다. 또르링? 아이. 우와우. 아트 갤러리는 무엇인가? 여기 모여있구나. 와! 나 끝났다. 근데 진짜 너무 멋있다. 그냥 이런 분위기 너무 좋아. 오. 단서에 대해 하나하나 컨셉 아트인가 봐. 오. 멋있어. 와, 이거 멋있어. 이거 진짜 다 컨셉 아트야. 아니, 이런 거 너무 좋은데? 플로라 아이크림, 찢어진 사진. 이야. 탱글 타워. 이런 거 너무 좋다. 진짜 이런 거 너무 잘 만들었다. 뜯어본 편지, 조각상. 후후. 오케이.